All right, we have coming up. We have my interview with Miki Frost in its entirety. Miki Frost has a lot of great things to say. He likes to push a lot of buttons and ask some challenging questions.
We in the
With no
army
further
of the
ado,
Lord.
here we go.
We in the army of the Lord.
You have time to grow. You have time to, conquer things in life. And, although it seems like at that age, you know it all, you don't really know nothing. And, don't limit yourself to the things that, is out there for you to continue to learn.
Okay, that's a very deep answer. So, what motivated you to start the Truce Center?
Well, growing up, I, had my fair share of bumping my head and, not doing things the right way. And, um, as life started to go on, as the older I got, once I had my kids, I kind of started realizing that I didn't want to have them ride down the street and see their dad looking a certain type of way. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
my kids to see me being that dude standing out on the corners, high and drunk with his pants hanging all the way down, So, I started realizing that I wanted to show my kids something else. And then, ultimately, my family, my mother, I wanted to finally put a smile on her face because of all the years I put frowns on it.
Right. Okay. All right. So, did you have a lot of when you wanted to start the nonprofit? I've heard other people say it wasn't the easiest adventure in the world. Did you have a lot of hurdles, or did you have people who helped you out along the way, just simply because of what your goal was?
You know what, man? I didn't have a lot of hurdles because I didn't come into this with the expectations of what anybody else thought. So it was fairly easy for me because I just wanted to create a space where these kids could come and hang out with each other, play the game, just connect and just, have a sense of having a safe space to come to. So, um, I didn't care what nobody else thought about it. I didn't seek, you know, um, certain people to help fund what I had going on because, I didn't want to get caught up in that whole
You owe me.
that whole arena of trying to get funded by people that I don't believe are ultimately out to fund our freedom. So what I did was just say, if it could be a small little, room, I'll take that room and work it to the best of my abilities to be able to educate these kids and, even some adults that's going through some things that maybe they just need a listening, session or just somebody that they could, confide into to get better.
Nice. So you started out, and you picked this location. Was this the original spot you had, or did you advance onto this spot eventually?
Nah, it's just started here. It's crazy because this spot that I got had been a few different things throughout the years, and then for probably 3 years, it just absolutely wasn't nothing. It was just kind of just sitting there, and one day I seen it. I was riding down the street, and I had been seeing it, and it's crazy because probably a year prior, I reached out to the owner of the place and tried to get it then, and to no avail did it happen. But at that time, I wasn't seeking to do a Truce Center, neither no type of community organization. I think I was gonna open up a store or something like that. But anyways, it didn't end up working out, and then God and time, and
Hmm.
decided it was time, and I ended up reaching out and. He had a slew of other people who had reached out to him, but he felt comfortable with what I said, and we managed to make it work. And here we are.
I was gonna say that sounds like something God had already decided was gonna happen for you. Like it wasn't right the first time because you didn't have the right heart, but the
For
second
sure.
time, God was like, "All right, this is what I need him to be."
Yeah, for sure.
Now, speaking of God, has your faith at all helped you with this? Is it harder to find? You find it harder to maintain your faith while trying to run this center, or is it strengthening your faith because you're able to see more of God's work through what you do?
It's definitely strengthened my faith. I'm one of those people that I believe in a higher power. I don't get sidetracked on if that is God, Buddha, Allah, whoever those names may
Fair
be.
enough.
I just there's somebody that's greater that has blessed me and my family and us as a as a whole to continue to, have the things that we have that, help us out along our journey in this life. So having this center definitely has brought my awareness of my higher power to a greater extent, to, a greater understanding of, it's not me that does anything. It's strictly through the grace of the higher power, through my God,
Right.
to be able to be gifted by him, to allow to share what I can share with these kids and, these other adults.
It sounds like the more you open up, the more you get rewarded. Or the more work that you do, because you're doing the good work, the more reward you actually get as a personal experience, more fulfillment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I'd be, wrong to say that, by contributing as much as I have to these young kids and to my community, if I haven't been able to see um, a great sense of, just fulfillment of that. I'd be lying because I have. I mean, it's an inner sense of just, more of a thank you or more of a smile to see some of these kids that I know that maybe was headed down the wrong road and decided to change it for maybe something that I gave to them or just told them or even maybe just showed them here at the center. So,
Nice. Well, you're doing good work for your community. Um, you've heard of the 100 Black Men, right?
I have, yep.
Okay. They're doing a thing called Man Code. I tried to tag you on that today. I'm part of that. I told him I'd bring it up to you. It's We're looking for black men that are interested in being mentors. It's basically you doing what you're already doing. But what they're doing is they're looking for young black men ages 12 to 18 to do this man code program where they get to learn computer programming, computer and software engineering, things like in the tech field. It's free of charge. They're able to. I think they're it's through Phyllis Wheatley and Microsoft. Now the plan used to be so they can all get laptops. Now I think their tablets. I think they're still working on that, or at least they'll have full access to them at the center. I told them I'd bring that up to you. I tagged that onto you in Facebook, um, but I thought I'd see if you'd be interested in hearing more about the 100 Black Men. Maybe we can get you to come to a Zoom and see what we're about because it's pretty powerful. And look, seeing a bunch of black men doing good things for kids. We focus more on black males, while you focus pretty much on just everybody, kids who need help. So it might be a little bit out of your thing because you pretty much help everybody, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely with exploring, any of those opportunities that could, bring some mentorship to some of these kids, even myself. So whatever needs to take place, I'm thoroughly there. I'm with it.
All right, I'll have you get with Hillrod because he's the president of it. We just started the chapter here in the Twin Cities. It's the big one's in Chicago, but it's actually really nice seeing brothers get together and try to figure out what to do to same thing you are to catch our kids before the system gets them. Because once that happens, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, is there anything that people can do to help you out with your sender? Do you have a link or anything that I can put out there or that I can actually tag and put up for
Yep, I got
donations or anything?
it's it's www.8218truthcenter.org. So you can go on there and check out what I do here at the center, kind of give you a breakdown of everything that goes on, how you can get involved, how you can even donate if that's what your heart chooses to do. And just how you can just just see the whole everything that we have going on here. So you can definitely go on there, or as you already know, follow me on Facebook, Miki
Right.
Frost Facebook, and I'm always announcing different things that we have going on here through there too. So
You tell entirely too much truth on your Facebook.
man, that's
You tell
that's
too
that's
much
how
truth.
I know how to come. That's all I can do, man. I mean, I can't. At least that's my truths. That's So I know at times I shake some things up. I stir some people around sometimes. But me personally, um, I just believe until we start turning that finger back around, talking about some of the things that we are doing to ourselves,
Oh man.
you know, I believe that it's not gonna be a change for us. You
Mm-mm.
know, I mean, keep expecting, some other group of people to change us when we need to change ourselves. We need to start inside and go out. You know what I mean? And until people are willing to hear that or understand it or take that in, then hey, I'm gonna stir some feathers up. That's
Yep.
definitely what.
But how do we tell people? So how do you? I find that we use the stuff that our parents and grandparents went through. We use that as our crutch as to why we can't do anything. Right? There's like no getting past that.
Hmm.
Obviously, the stuff happened, but I've always felt like my grandmother went through what she went through, so my mother didn't have to go what she went through. My mom went through what she went through, so I didn't have to, and I don't. My grandmother went through something completely different than my mom, right?
Right.
They were both born during Jim Crow, but it was different levels of it, right? My grandmother was born in 1928, so that's a whole different thing versus my mom who was born in 1954. Those were two completely different worlds. Both horrible, but one was marginally better. I was born in 72, so for me, I didn't experience nothing my mother did. And I have a hard time, people, well, this is what they did to us. I'm like, they did that to my mom. My mom my mom couldn't go, she had to go to all black school. She couldn't go anywhere she wanted to go. My mom had to get bused. My mom got spit on. That didn't happen to me. But I don't understand why people act like it happened to them. And I feel bad, like, well, maybe their parents schooled them and drilled it into their heads that that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I can't speak for other people, but I don't know how to get our people past the past. And that's not to say get over it, but stop using it.
Well, I think that um, obviously the past is always going to be relevant, but we are in different times where it's a lot harder for these kids to understand that, for that simple drink of water that they're getting out that water fountain, there has been some ancestors or some grandmas and either mothers and fathers that have been severely beaten or even murdered for just that simple drink of water that you guys take for granted.
Right.
So so I mean, that's always going to be there. It's just that now, times have changed to where we have to be able to, talk to them about what's going on now and showing the systematic, you know, um, racism that's taking place right now. We don't even need to go back to that drinking
No.
fountain back in those days when we can talk about simply that, for instance, an unarmed black man was murdered,
Just
because he
recently.
put his hands up, you know what I mean? And these kids are being able to see that, I tell them all the time, I'm right here on this street corner where we had this little experiment the other day where it was I took and got $50 all in $1 bills, and I
Mm-hmm.
told us to let's stand out on this corner and give out money. Let's give out $1, to
Right.
all these cars. And it's just crazy how, so many people of non-color, would just ride right past, not knowing that there was free money right there at the corner, trying to be give to
Mm-hmm.
them, and they didn't want to even look and see these young black boys standing on this corner that was giving away free money. That they had a chance to get some free money, and they were too occupied with the belief or the thought that there was some young black dudes
Mm-hmm.
over there that doing something, and I don't want to roll my window down. Less known, I don't even want to look at them. And little did they know that these little dudes was out there trying to, support, maybe get them a cup of coffee or something, whatever it may be. But these kids were able to see that, so I don't have to tell them about the olden days and what has went on. I
They
can
see it.
simply right now how it's going on right in y'all's faces.
Mm. So, because it just popped in my head, they do have a perception of us that is scary as hell. Because
It
it's
is.
funny, but when the cop says that they were afraid of the black guy, it's not like they were lying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they are honestly afraid of us, right? And I don't know why. I know that it's part of it's because they bred us to be faster, bigger, and stronger than they are. But we were supposed to be field workers, right? So that we were bred that way. So I get, you're kind of afraid of the natural. Holy crap, they're big. But I wonder why what they weren't afraid of us like they are now. I wonder if we wouldn't have let them take over our hip hop, they wouldn't be afraid of us like they are. You know what I mean? At one point, like I'm not saying the style shouldn't have changed, but it was what the content was, right? Sugar Hill Gang was one thing, and while NWA needed to be done, it should have been its own lane versus the whole thing. Does that make sense? We went
Yeah,
it went from having everybody having a voice. You got to see brothers and sisters being happy and mad, right?
yeah,
We stopped being happy. Mad got
true.
really really popular, and then Mad became everything. Even when we were having fun, we were mad about having the fun. But and I understand that's marketing, and I get that's how it was designed. But I don't know how we get out of because that's where we are now, and I don't know how we can get out of that pattern.
Well, to me, I believe that that was that we were, we were all already pushed to be mad and angry, and when hip hop came, hip hop tried to display a sense of the happiness in what you're talking about, but from movies such as Reefer Madness and some of the older movies that depicted us as being crazy black men that had set
Oh.
a tone as being black before hip hop was already established,
Mm-hmm.
So by the time the late 70s and early 80s came and hip hop started to rise, it was already a mind state through whites that we were dysfunctional people on up into that part. When hip hop came, that was
Right.
our way of our story and try to say that well, this is the reasoning to why we feel this way, or even this is what's happening in our communities and we just want to tell y'all stories about it. Well, a lot of those stories, even through hip-hop, through the white culture, was taken as being they judged us for the simple
Mm-hmm.
stories we just wanted to tell, and I think it once they understood that, hey, that was being listened to at
True.
with severe greatness, that
Mm.
they figured out a way to, with the secret meeting that took place back in the the late 80s, early 90s, to
You
try
know
to,
about that stuff because you was in the
yeah,
music stuff. You know that
yeah,
there was a point where hip hop was going to be the number one thing on the planet. It is now, but I think they saw it coming well back when y'all was getting in, and Minneapolis was like throwing rappers out and everything, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden it was like the faucet got turned off up here. So y'all
Well,
must have been all in all that.
what ended up happening is, it's crazy, man, because I remember back then rapping, and I remember being told, you're not cussing enough. You're not being derogatory enough. You're not calling the women enough B's and H's in your records. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
right now, during those times, that's what was understood by certain people that would sell. So they took that. They had a meeting that was designed to say, okay, we're gonna let this type of music spread through the airwaves and be on the mainstream, and we're gonna take any music talking about educating us and talking about just the fact that we can make it through together and we can unite. We're not gonna push that music, and that's just what happened. So unfortunately, it continued enough to where it made us start to believe that I can't sell a record if I can't talk about killing my next brother or my sister or calling her
Mm.
out, or I can't be no famous actor or actress if I can't play the roles of being disrespected, or I hate to say it, I don't have a problem with it or anything, but right now the homosexual agenda is being pushed
Mm.
um, through blacks, at
Huge.
at an alarming rate right now. And I just believe that hey, if we can, whatever it takes to dysfunctionate the household and take the man and that structure and that strength away from that culture of people, we must attack. And if we do that, it has to come through the judicial system. system. It has to come through the education system. It has to come through, and unfortunately, it even has to come through how we operate through our sexuality.
I never understood how the gay black man is suddenly less threatening. He's still a black man.
Still back.
He's still a black man. He didn't change, right? The gay black man is really less threatening, and I don't understand why. I don't get
Well,
it.
just to be with all fairness, and I say it all the time when we have our Facebook discussions and different things. Is um, if we can report every time a black man is angry and every time he does something that pushes him over the scale compared to reporting it when a person of a different nationality does it, then obviously it's going to make us seem like we are the ones to fear.
Hmm.
And with being said, if you're the ones that's watching this, and every time you cut on the TV, if we're going to show you that the black man is once again angry and violent and doing these things, and he's a lot more violent and angry than the Chinese man, the white man, the Mexican man, or whatever, then we're going to, tip that scale to being fear that, and
Man,
that's how it's going.
fear makes money, man.
It does.
It makes money. I cannot lie. That's why we lead the news, and it's always big. And it's funny when there's a murder and it doesn't involve a black person, they never ever bring up the race of the victim or or the perpetrator. Nothing. But
Yeah.
when it involves a black person, there was a black man who was hanging out with an Asian fellow who happened to be chilling with a Mexican cat. And they all got they make sure every race involved. But
Yeah.
if it ain't a black person involved, the identities are held for the. But it's like wow. But no, black violence makes money.
Right. I just think we're at but to me, it's 2020. And, I have a conversation often about how, you know, this is all known. This is not nothing that's new to us.
Mm-hmm.
And by this point of time, we should be able to understand, you know, the the explicit word right there, that we can no longer use that as an excuse for us not to start to better ourselves and start to educate ourselves and start to go on with it, saying that, man, we don't have to be what this television is depicting us as being. And, until we start standing on that, well, then we keep giving them fuel to
Hmm.
be able to say, yes, you are. And that's what we're doing. So honestly, I'm not mad at the fact that y'all can sit back and say that black men are this or black men are that, because we give y'all an example every time y'all choose to use that excuse. We give
Because we
y'all
do
an
it.
example to use it.
We can't get out of our own way.
Yeah.
We do it, but that's the crab in the barrel theory, and I think that's for every community. And I think part of the problem is, and I wonder what you think about this. We need to have something similar to what the Jewish culture has, or the Asian culture has. Even the Mexicans have it, where you become a man, right? In Africa, they have it depending on the different countries. The tribe that I'm from, they have a cross. They have a you go out, you have to kill crap. But that's just that. That's what it was then. But you still have that. We don't have any of that. It's, you're 18, have fun, good luck with that. Whereas
Yeah.
the Jewish people, when you're 13, you go to work at a store, right? You start work, you bag, and then you move up, and you figure out at the end. When you're 18, you know everything about that store and every menu every penny that store makes. You know everywhere every penny goes when you're 18, right? So that gives you a foundation. You can go pretty much go do anything you want to do after that. But we need something like that. How would you, if you could set what being a man would be, what would you have that be? Like if you could set a tradition for this, what black men will do for their children at 13 from now on.
First of all, we have to be there. You know what I mean? You can't set nothing if the black man ain't there. You know what I mean? So you gotta first you gotta be there. And um, it's just it's just crazy, and it's just unfortunate that come the average young brother at 13, he doesn't have that male to look up to. You know what I mean? His big brother may very well be off into a life of soon to be in trouble. The father, the uncles, and all them are off into survival mode. So there is no type of, leadership that's there just inside of the home. So first of all, I would say, man, let's figure out a way to keep, you know, uh, a male there at the age of a young, brother becoming 13 years old. And then once he is there, then it has to be mandatory that you spend time with that kid. I say it all the time. It's like all of us as men, um, we want to, we sit back and we want our kids to be the next Kobe Bryants or the next LeBron James or the next Emmett Smiths or whatever. But yet and still, you don't take and throw your kid a ball. You don't dribble one time with your kid, but want your kid to be a superstar at pick the sport. But you don't take time out to play that sport. So you what you do is you say, okay, I want my kid to be the next LeBron James, and how I'm gonna get him there? I'm gonna take my kid over to a gym and give him to another man. I'm gonna go give him to somebody else and tell somebody else to make him into what I want him to be. First of all, we got to stop that. You want your son to be this, or you want your son to be that? Well, take time out and start to build with your son and structure him to the way you want him to be. In some cases, we can sit back and say, I want my son to be just like me. And you show him that by doing some of the things you do. And then when he turns around, he's just like you. You mad that he turned out just like you. So you can't want him to be like you in one profession or whatever, and then you don't want to take the time out to build him so that he can become. Because often enough, these women all the time, get into relationships and they sit back and they cry and they talk about, what the man isn't doing for their kid or whatever. But have you asked yourself, how is that boy that you with supposed to teach a kid how to be something when he ain't been taught and ain't came from it himself?
Tell it.
How many men, which really is just old boys, they ain't got no daddies. They didn't come from a structured household. They didn't come from a father, nothing teaching them nothing. So how can this man turn around and make your son be so great? Or how can you look at him and say he's supposed to be a super dad when he ain't never had no dad himself? He don't know.
Right? No one's gonna have the best sense of your kid other than you. That's that's factual. Okay, no one teach your kid like you can teach your kid. And even if
Man,
you
come
can't
on.
play basketball, you can read about the fundamentals and watch your
Yeah,
kid play. You
man.
can have him dribble. If he ain't dribbling, you can know, you can hear it. You don't
Yeah,
even have to know how to actually do it. You can watch him
yeah,
shoot, watch videos, sit with him, learn with him. That might be the
yeah.
best experience ever.
There's
You can
good.
both suck together, but it's the best relationship on the planet.
Man, come on, man. I mean, when I was 13 years old, man, you could have told me I wasn't going to the league for something because I was in the sports and I had my dad at every game. But when my dad and mom broke up, they separated. My dad moved away. He moved back to what he knew, which was St. Louis, Missouri. I have no family in Minnesota, so he moved back to where his family was. And when he moved away, that took my number one fan out of the crowd. So from that point on, to play football, basketball, baseball. I mean, what I want to swing the bat for? Because if I hit a home run, I don't got nobody in the crowd that I know it. I done just made happy by hitting that home run. You know what I'm saying? Mama was too busy trying to make sure, that we was gonna have a dinner on the table because the pops wasn't there and whatever. So, it changed me as a kid. And ironically, the crack cocaine era had just, came through our city, and next thing I went all downhill. And the father that I found was Father Streets.
Hmm. The streets raised a lot of us.
Yeah, that became my pops.
The streets raised a lot of us. But then a lot of us also are now able to, like you, take the lessons we learned and help people to avoid those. There are some lessons I think that the street teaches that everybody needs to experience. And
For
they just
sure.
say like you know what I mean? That's life needs to punch you in the face. And I think that's one of our things. We try to stop too many people from getting punched in the face by life. It needs to hit you square in the face. So you
Yeah,
understand, you know what I mean?
it does. It does. The streets is bad, but hey, man, like you're saying, there's some lessons that the streets will teach you that'll help you become old and gray. It's just about how you take in those lessons and what you learn from the streets.
Yep, the streets will teach you. You don't have to be And there's a lot of bad things, but there's a lot of good things just from being out in your community and learning and seeing different things. So you have to experience a lot of things.
Yeah.
If you don't experience things, you'll never learn, and you'll. I'd love to have us. I'd love to explore more. Oh, I did want to talk to you about perhaps starting a drone program over with you. I'm gonna have to bring a couple of drones by your shop
Man, yeah, let's do it.
because I got some drones. I just saw a truck I want to grab. I'm a geek. I'm into RC cars and drones and boats, like our remote control boats.
Yeah,
I fully believe that young black kids who can learn how to fly drones will be able to write their own tickets in 10 years.
I believe so also. So, I'm actually in pilot school. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I've took some hours of flying a plane myself. And working towards I got actually 12 hours left until I can get my certificate, my pilot's license. So, what I've done is I've tried to get some model cars and start
Ah,
there with, just working on some model cars with some of these, young brothers. And, I just think that um
I got a car for you.
all of that, whether it's these drones, it's so much that's out there that we have to take it upon ourselves to start getting these kids involved with, because if not, we know what they will be
Hmm.
involved with if there's nothing else to get them away from it. So whatever it may be, I just think that it just takes us, to get together and say, man, come on, man, let's try this. Let's take these young brothers fishing. Let's take them to go grab a tennis racket and just, try it. Let's take them, and try to do some things. I say all the time, this even goes for us as adults, living here in Minnesota. Um, for years and years, I used to say, you know what? I wake up, go outside, literally stand on the corner or walk up and down the street and just complain about how bored I was and how there's nothing to do. Until I realized, man, there's plenty of things to do. It's about what do you want to do? A lot of us don't want to do nothing. But if you
Right.
open your mind up and say, I don't care, you want to go horseback riding, you want to go skiing, skateboarding, rollerblading, whatever it is that you could think about, there's something for you to go do right now. You just don't want to go do now. What do you want to go do? And a lot of us have, bored and nothing to do, confused with, just no esteem to be able to go out and want to do anything.
Well, I can get us. I know I can get us. If you ever want to take some of your kids out when the COVID thing's all over, I know the owner of of a golf course right off of 694 out towards what is that, Forest Lake,
Okay.
just right after White Bear. That nice club there. It's whatever Power Five. Whatever, they held a PGA tournament there once. Whatever. Um, I told him like about the 100 black men thing. We can always. Oh, he said anytime you want to use our course on a Monday or Tuesday, let him know
That'll
because
work.
those
Let's
are
do
free days for golf courses. We should have a fundraiser for you. As soon as COVID's done, we put together. Maybe get my wife involved because she does killer fundraisers. Try to do a golf fundraiser because that's where the money is. I ain't gonna lie to you. No one
That'll
raises
work.
money like like golf events. We know the you have to know the right people. Um, we know the right people, dealership owners and folks who live out in the
Yeah.
sticks. They just want to. They help. They like doing good by going. I'll play around the golf. Here's $1,000. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do. Seriously, they'll play the round and so we'll see what we can do there. But I thank you for the interview. If
Well,
there's anything I can do, I am going to try to bring the drones by. See, my next day off is going to be Monday. No, Wednesday. My next day off is next week, so I'll try to probably swing by next Wednesday. Drop a couple
okay.
drones off. Actually, no, I'll be able to maybe try tomorrow because I get off at like 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a drone for you. It works. I have a plane. I have a red tail. You can
Wow.
you can use it for a display. It's yay. It's like this. Um, can't be flown unless there's a very, very, very smooth surface. But I'll let you hold it and use it as a display to put up to see, like, just maybe spark imaginations because I can't fly it right now. So,
Yeah, I'll put it up. That's what I'll do. I'll take great care of it. I'll put it up and
but it's a P-51 Mustang.
okay.
So you can make that's it. It's a teaching lesson.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Appreciate it.
I'll get that by you tomorrow. And I got a drone. It's clear. It goes 800 feet straight up, and
Okay.
then has a little camera on it. I will try to. I'm a guy, man. I'll try to find the instructions. I ain't gonna lie to you. I might not know where they are, but
Well,
you
I'm gonna
guys can
wait for
figure
you.
it out.
I want- Yeah, I definitely don't want to mess nothing up, so I'll wait for you to help me figure it out at least.
No, you can't really break it, man. They go up, and they're all protected, so they're made to fall. These are training ones. It's
Oh,
just I don't know where the box is with the instructions because I'm a guy. So
right.
I don't think for half my stuff I ever broke out. I just grab it, figure it out. Flips, doesn't flip no more. I'm in. Let's go. But that's just how I work.
No, yeah.
But I thank you much. Um,
Thank you.
Once again, give the name of your Truce Center, the whole name and the website address.
The name is 8218. That's the numbers 8218 Truce Center and African American Museum, located at 175 Lexington Parkway North, St. Paul, Minnesota 55104. Website information is www.8218truecenter.org, or you can reach me on Facebook at Miki Frost. That's Mikifrost on Facebook.
All right. Thank you very much, Brother Mickey. Do me a favor. Have yourself a great day. I'll get at you later, my friend, and I'll definitely see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, brother. You be safe, man.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
That was fire. That was just the meeting with Mickey. Very good fella. Very good cat. Great dude. Great dude. Awesome, in fact. We'll just cut that out. Here we go. Well, no, that's horrible.